Thank you so much for staying with us. We're still on TMI this beautiful morning on ITV. I am Marcelina Unkwa, and I have my co-anchor here with me, Patricia Gebres.
Good morning, Mercy, and thank you for joining us on TMI this Wednesday morning. Yes, you can join us on GoTV 140 and start time 1:30. You can also join us on UHF Abuja 44 and UHF Benin 22. You can also join us on all our social media handles, the TikTok, Facebook, and of course our YouTube channels.
All right, and our guest this beautiful morning that would be helping us analyze to this topic is Dr. Victor Ohai. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, this morning from Lagos, we will be looking at court stops PDP from conducting national convention. And the PDP fixed its elective national convention for 15th and 16th November this month, 2025, at the Lakon Salami Stadium, Ibadan, Oyo State, to elect, of course, new national officers for the PDP reposition of the party ahead of the 2027 forthcoming general election, refresh leadership structures. On 31st October 2025, last month, we saw that the Federal High Court in Abuja, Justice James Omotosho, stopped the PDP convention, citing the failure to comply with the law and order, and also INEC should not recognize the outcome of any convention conducted without compliances. Meanwhile, an Oyo State High Court Justice Akintola on 3rd November this month, 2025, cleared the PDP to hold the convention as scheduled, ordering that no party, organ or officers frustrate the timetable, and the INEC should deploy monitor observers. And yesterday, which was 11th November, we saw that another federal court ordered Justice Peter again restrained the PDP from proceeding with the convention and barred INEC from monitoring or recognizing the outcome, pending substantive suits by former Governor Sule Lamido of the Jigawa State. This has created a legal contradiction. One court gives a green light, another stops the process, and it has got a lot of people talking. Dr. Victor Ohai, at this point, one court gives green lights that you can go ahead and proceed with your convention, and another court will tell you that no, this stops the process. What do you have to say about that?
Well, it's unfortunate that the courts are now a tool in the hands of politicians. Of course, courts are there for mediation, because if you don't have them, people will go to war. So there's no problem with that. But it is the manipulation or the abuse of court process, and that just gets me a bit worried. However, what we have seen is a situation where different parties are using the court to further their personal interests. Of course, like you rightly pointed out, in one instance, it was I think Omotosho, yeah.
Yeah.
That's for the 31st
of October.
Of October.
Yeah.
It said, no.
Yeah.
And then on the 3rd of November, again, another court, this time in Ibadan, says,
You can
go ahead.
Yeah.
In terms of the way the law works, the last one is the one that will be obeyed. That's the one that stands. But this last one now that has happened yesterday, obviously, although for a different reason, means that it cannot go on. Although the what you call it now, the party is insisting that it will go ahead, but we'll have to wait and see. But they have to also be very careful, because you know, in matters like this, you can go ahead with an election and you just, it's like catching breeze. You recall what happened, was it in Jigawa State or Zamfara now, I think? Jigawa, where all APC completely, all the seats they won from governorship, they lost it because of this, you know, non-adherence to courts, or ignoring court
orders.
Orders, yes. So that's
okay, that was actually a great one.
Yes.
What does Doctor, let's look at the legal and constitutional implications of this. What does this court order say about internal democracy and rule of law within the political parties in Nigeria?
Well, clearly courts cannot interfere or should not interfere in the internal affairs of the party. This has been clearly established. However, the courts can interfere when your rights are breached. It can interfere in matters of processes and procedures. For instance, if you want to deny me my fundamental human right, for instance, I have
Just
a right
in
to
this
go to
case
court.
now.
Yeah.
Yes, I have a right to go to court, you know. But the internal politics of the party, that's their business. However, you know, on matters of processes and procedures, and like I said, your fundamental right and things like that, yes, the courts can interfere. That's what we are seeing play out.
Still looking at the legal and constitutional implications of this, does INEC have any role to play in enforcing or responding to this judgment?
INEC's duty is to obey court orders. It cannot, if the court says go one way, it has to. It cannot act independently, or it cannot unilaterally take a decision. Everyone is bound by what the law says. So if they say there should be no convention, that's what the court has said. Unless you appeal and get a ruling that is different, it is what it is.
Okay, Dr. Victor, at this point, what does this legal back and forth says about the state of Nigeria's judicial process in political party matters?
Well, unfortunately, it looks like it's no longer the electorate that, I mean, since we're talking election, electoral matter, although this feels a party matter, but it all starts from there. It seems now like it's no longer the people that vote anymore, it's the courts. Because when politicians rig and you complain, they say go to court.
Yeah.
I know what they say. If a man boldly tells you go to court, he's probably his uncle, nephew, niece, auntie, brother is a judge, or is an in-law that is a judge. And so they say to you, go to court. And so what it simply means is, you know, so we find out that a lot of cases are no longer caught, a lot of, what do you call it now, elections are no longer settled. There's a right to appeal, to go to court after, if you have electoral disputes and all that. It is okay. It's a right and proper thing to do. But it is becoming a norm and a trend now where it's like, look, don't bother about the elections. Just go and wait for them in the court.
Okay, let's talk about the election aspect. Do you think this crisis, this PDP crisis, affect the PDP chances in the 2027 forthcoming general election?
It's definitely going to do that because it's already a house divided against itself. Unless it gets its act together, it's going to be very difficult. For one, the convention right now may or may not hold.
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly.
So, and this is an internal crisis. Don't forget, it's still split along the line, the middle. The courts, and indeed INEC has recognized the Damagun-led faction.
Yeah.
Okay, so, but there is also the other faction, you know, so, and that faction was one that went to court. So you find a situation now where it's split along the middle. Not only that, look at the gale of the defections that are already happening and taking place. The rear of
Bayelsa State,
Peter and Ba, you know, they're leaving the party. These are strong bases of, you know, of Peter and Ba of Enugu State. Sorry, did I say a number? I don't know if I said so. So these are strong bases for the party, and so now it's like the party is losing some of its base. And the reason this can defect without any implication is because what the law says is if there's internal crisis or factionalization. So we see that because of these factions now, people can just leave or defect or cross carpet, as
I'm
they
talking
say.
about defection. we've been seeing a couple of defections, especially
Yes.
from PDP to the ruling party, APC, and a lot of speculation. Some persons are even saying that, you know, Soludo just won the governorship, Anambra governorship election, and some persons were even saying that Hawe Shaw is not going to defect soon. And the fact that lots of governors, a lot of people defecting from PDP to either APC or other party, it's giving APC, that is the ruling party, the urge for this forthcoming 2027 election. And people are saying PDP needs to, you know, stand up, put their house in order, put their house in place, because people are defecting. And of course, election is just by the corner, 2027. And what does that say for PDP in particular at this point?
The party has been decimated. Let's not deceive ourselves. And it could be consciously or unconsciously by the ruling party. I mean, yes, but it's not without cooperation from within, you know. Wike is on the one hand chipping away at the base of the party, you know, while it is cake and having it, while in APC his other leg is in PDP.
It's here and here.
I think he's a hatchet man there, just there to say, okay, look, pull it down by whatever every means possible. That's on the one hand. So, and is that right? Obviously, and it's not just the only one. There are many like that as well. So that's a problem.
So you call them moles?
Yeah, you might say so. But again, it's a battle, and any party can employ whatever means it wants to do what it wants to, and that's what we're saying right now.
Win.
Yeah.
Okay, Doctor, let's go back to the court stop of PDP from conducting the national convention. So, if we want to take a look at it, if the PDP decides to ignore, how binding is the injunction and what penalties could follow if the PDP decides to ignore the directives?
What happened in Jigawa, I think it's Jigawa, not Zamfara. What happened in Jigawa will happen again. Because you would have gone against what the law says. So anything that is built on, you can't build on nothing. You know, so if the foundation is faulty, everything else that is built upon it will fail. So that's what the problem is, and so you cannot. So if they say no convention, and you go ahead and hold the convention, every officer that you elect there, and going forward, every decision that is taken by them is
Let me
void.
get it clear. So you are saying even if they go ahead and have the convention done against them, the ruling of the court, and they go into the elections in 2027 and win some offices or positions, are you saying it's not going to be recognized?
Okay, let me put it this way. How do I put it now? Somebody takes an appointment wrongly, or I don't know the best way. Okay, let's even use the PDP. You elect officials, and then these officials that you elect supervise nominations within the party and all other things, and the officers come up, and they are the wrong, and they are not the recognized ones
by court.
So which means that they are an illegal body. So how can an illegal body supervise and approve names for INEC for election? If you do, obviously there's nothing that can come out of it. Because in law it is not recognized. It's not recognized. So it will not stand.
It won't stand.
Let's talk about the governance, PDP governance at this point. Do you think the current PDP governance and national leaders are united behind the vision for the party?
Well, those that are there are still, I mean, Makinde, for instance, is clearly, and the Bauchi State Governor, Bala, is that his name? I hope I remember now. And then, you know, the few other governors that you have there, I think Zamfara is PDP as well, if I'm correct, or is it Jigawa? They're still there. They don't have a problem. They are backing the party, the current leadership, but it's a shaky foundation. With what is happening with Sunday Lamido now, you may find that the party will be further decimated because it would have its supporters as well.
Yeah.
And so now you're going to have even further
division.
more division in the party. You know, so
because him not getting the ticket for the chairmanship position.
It's not really the ticket; it's a chance to contest, and they're depriving him. They're blocking him from contesting.
And it's actually his right.
It's his right. So that's where the problem is. That's where the problem is.
So all this will refer as politics.
Is it? Would you call that
politics in the
really?
party?
Well, you might say so, but it's not. It doesn't make it right.
Yeah, it doesn't make it right, obviously. But looking at it, it looks like we know the house is divided. So some people are for this and some people are for this.
Yes.
So with
if you do it under law, it's normal. You can have faction. People can be divided. People have a right to stand with who they want to stand with. That's okay. But not a situation where you are banning people. And then, you know. So he did the next best thing, which is, okay, if you don't want me to contest, then there will be no contest. You know, and they should have just let him come in there to test his popularity. It's a democracy. Let the party decide who they want. As long as he's a fit and proper person to contest, he's a bona fide member of the party, he has a right to contest.
Talking about democracy, do you think we practice democracy in Nigeria?
True democracy.
Okay, so well. The answer is, if you look at the structure, you say, yes, that's what it is. Obviously, you're not under military rule. But how democratic is the process? So we have to look at the process. It's like what happened recently in Tanzania, where a woman who was a vice president, she wasn't even the president, but unfortunately, Magufuli, the president, died. She was elevated to become president. Now, her first election, she's blocking opponents, you know, and banning them from contesting and all that. Who does that? You don't do that. Locking up some people.
Locking up some people.
The same thing happened in Cameroon, where you are banning people, you're blocking people. You know, the same thing happened in Côte d'Ivoire. It has become a trend. So you find that, you know, the civilians that are supposed to be practicing democracy, their processes are not democratic, and that worries me. So it's the same thing you see here, where, you know, what's supposed to be a democratic process, you know, it's not exactly truly, to borrow a word, truly democratic.
And you know, funny Nigerians, talking about this Tanzania issue for some days now, yesterday and today, we've been seeing some trending videos on the internet where, you know, in our country, social media, you see probably the president make a speech and you see this Gen Z started making fun with the speech, you know, dancing to it. And it happens in Tanzania, and the presidents currently, you know, they're locking them up, killing some people, speculations. I mean, it's all over the internet. And you see some funny Nigerians coming out, I mean, the youth coming out to say that, oh, I think our country is good, you know, the president, they don't, because they were just imagining and saying that if it was Nigeria where a sound comes out, for instance, the president make a statement and, you know, those people, they turn it to a sound and start dancing with the sound on social media and all of that. Imagining it's happening in Nigeria, you know, the president would not even see it as a big deal. Unlike Tanzanian presidents arresting people just because you're using a sound, you know, to do social media dance and all of that. And a lot of persons were saying, oh, Nigeria, I think that with that we'll still praise our president.
Don't be comforted and don't be fooled. The reason I say so is simply this. You forget that they still have not relented on making certain social media laws, you know. So the issue of locking up, sometimes a lockup may even be better. We have a journalist up north who disappeared until tomorrow he has not been found. In Delta State, there's a guy who criticized him, and then the guy is in court right now. You know, so Nigeria is not better. They are doing it, and the one that is worse is when people disappear, and they do it. It's that bad. They get to that. It's not that we have saints here. We don't have any saints here. It's the truth. It's just that, you know, we cannot, we are Nigerians, we cannot be shot so easily. You can't shut us up so easily like you do with these other countries where they are very naive and all that. We are different. So that's why it's not that if they can get away with it, our politicians will do it. But we are very vocal, and because our diversity has helped us as well. So if you're doing something here, and you're doing what you're doing, there is always opposition from the other side. You know, it's either across the religious divide, or across social divide, or across ethnic divide. There will always be people who will take you on. So that's what it is.
Okay, Doctor. Taking a look at the public perception and wider political contest on this injunction from the court, how do you think the public and PDP supporters are reacting to this latest development?
No, take the question again. I didn't quite get that.
How do you think the public and PDP supporters are reacting to this latest development?
It is sad, very unfortunate what is happening, to be honest. But it is what it is. PDP is not the same again, and it will never remain the same. It will never be the same again. Those that are there are still hanging on because it has a widespread. Let's not deceive ourselves. There are still people who are still loyal to the party. But is there a true leader in the party right now? Not anymore. Who can you point at and say, this is the leader of the party right now? No central figure to look up to say, okay, or even leaders that you can say, okay, these are the leaders of the party. Maybe at state levels or at local levels you might find that, but it's no longer what it used to be. There was a time where you could say, okay, these are the people, you know, who are leading the party. And with the factions and all that, it's been decimated. And in any case, they have had their fair share. The ruling party currently is not necessarily any better, but Nigerians are just fed up, you know. So from within the party, I sense frustration because obviously they are not happy with what is happening to their party. With the general public, it's like, well, it is what it is. You guys deserve what you have coming anyway. So, and there are those who might sympathize with them because they probably feel that there might be external influences.
So what do you think they need to do now? I mean, PDP, to put their party in order. I mean, their house in order.
Or adding to your question, or do you think there will be no PDP anymore very soon?
There will always be those who will want to use it as a platform. So I don't think it's disappearing anywhere too soon. However, the question you asked, which is, please remind me again.
I said, going forward, what do PDP needs to do now to put their house in order?
To put their house in order, I don't know if you can tell adults what to do, if you know, because as it is right now, they ought to know, but how can you put it to order when you have a wiki who has refused to go?
His hair and hair.
Yes, and he's hell-bent on destroying, acting out his script as dictated from wherever, and is hell-bent at destroying the party from within. While, that's why I say eating his cake and having it. He's in APC enjoying all the goodies here, but he has refused to let go of this one. He's destroying it. I don't think he wants to stay. I don't think he even wants to inherit anything.
Okay, if we're talking about Wike and the court,
yes.
Because I'm standing on the court, that's what we're talking about today.
Yeah.
Don't the PDP as a party have the right to take Wike to court and say all your activities are against?
No, you can't. What are you going to report him to? What are you going to report him for? He's a member of the party. He has not left the party. He has not told you he has resigned. He has not.
But his activities are not aligning with the party.
What the party ought to do, which they have lacked the courage to do, is to ban him or expel him for anti-party activity. It's a party that can do it. But they lack the moral or they lack the courage to do it. They ought to have expelled him a long time ago for anti-party activities. But he probably still has his men entrenched here and there. They're not doing it. If the party cannot do it, the court will not do it for the party.
So they lack the courage. Is it that nobody can just stand and talk to him?
Well,
you know?
Well, first of all, for that to happen, you have to have a structure. So where is the structure right now? There's a Demagogue-led one who is standing on one leg. There's the other faction that is on the other leg. If you had one unified structure and they decide now, look, Wike, you are what you're doing is anti-party activities, we hereby expel you. And then to expel also can be done, or suspension can be done at the ward level. Wike has his ward firmly in his pocket.
True.
All right.
That
thank
is
you.
another way that they could have expelled him from the party, but he is holding that one very well, and that's why.
Okay, Doctor, just to quickly get your opinion on this.
Okay.
What message would you say this send about the state of opposition's politics in Nigeria today?
Okay, for the state of politics opposition, what is happening is almost like what happened in Lagos, where they basically just killed the opposition. The same playbook has been taken by Tinubu under APC now to the national level. But it is also dangerous, because if everybody now joins APC, it can implode from within, because they will now start fighting themselves from inside there. Because they are in one house doesn't mean that they are all going to love each other.
Okay.
There will still be oppositions.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Victor Ohai, for helping us
having me.
analyze this topic. Patricia.
Thank you so much, Doctor, for coming.
All right, thank you all our viewers for joining our Lagos Network studio on TMI this morning. We will be handing over to Benin for the continuation on TMI.